They're back. The Chiefs are getting 3 players back in short order. They're going to help them make that push for the Super Bowl and the three-peat run. Let's break it down. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Ryan. This is me going rogue. That's RGR. Welcome. I'm having a good time. I hope you are too. My voice is almost back to normal, and we're going to break down where they're at because Andy Reid had something to say on Monday, and we got further reports that confirm not only is Juju Smith-Schuster expected to practice, at least be available out there at practice on Wednesday, but they're opening the windows to return both Charles Omenihu as well as Isiah Pacheco. And before I go anywhere, check out BetUS because they have a great deal. Use the code YouTube150 and you're going to get 150% of your deposit bonus up to 3 times, up to $2,000. Check them out. These guys are going to make an impact. Let's start with up front. Juju's the guy that's going to get out there first. He's the closest to being able to get back on the field. If he's able to practice in full at all this week, he's going to be able to be available against the Buffalo Bills, and that's what's key. Now, he's got the injury he's coming off of. He was playing pretty well in a go-to game where he had to be the man. He was able to answer the call, and that really paid off. What does he do now? With the addition of DeAndre Hopkins, it's now working in concert with D-Hop and Kels to give it a 3-pronged attack, and that's kind of where the magic happens. It's great to have 2 Hall of Fame caliber, excellent players like DeAndre Hopkins and Travis Kelce, but adding a third that understands 2 things: where to stress a defense and how to attack the zone. This is how you can actually get things done because it's just too much for the defense to handle when you have 3 really solid guys against the zone that they can't throw crazy stuff at. If you try to man up, you're going to get beat one way or the other, whether it's Travis or whether it's D-Hop. I think he's proven that to this point. And having the 3 really puts the crown on it. Now, I'm not saying abandon the 2 tight end sets or anything like that. I do want to see more Peyton Hendershot out there. I do want to see Noah Gray continue to be the guy that comes up with the great underneath catches. And I do want to see them still stress Xavier Worthy. But having Juju on there means that you have a pair along with Xavier that can start in 11, can come off and go to 12 personnel and give you what you need to exploit the entire field, not just a certain section of it based on matchup. That's what we're looking for. I think the X factor that pays off is X, and that's how I'm calling Xavier Worthy. I'm just starting to refer to him as X. If you haven't heard me say that before, that's what I mean. I think this is where he can start to really adjust and make these final tweaks so that he doesn't have to think as much. He talked about that last week. Been a little hiccupy for him lately. I think they can straighten that out with all the attention having to be on the 3 other guys. I think this is excellent for everyone going into this Bills game, and it's right on time. The best way to get into the action is with BetUS and their deal with code YouTube150. You can start playing today with that exclusive offer. You can get into all the football that you want, whether it's this week's matchup for the Chiefs, whether it's getting into the season-long odds against Super Bowl, against the division. The Chiefs are heavily favored in a lot of those, but there are plenty of bets to be made. And you can do it all at BetUS, where you can get 150% of your deposit bonus up to 3 times and up to $2,000. Use YouTube 150 today at BetUS. Now, what does getting Isiah Pacheco back out there means? It means the window's open. They have a couple of weeks for both he and Charles Omenihu to get them back out on the field. Doesn't mean they're going to play right away. And quite frankly, given the history the Buffalo Bills have and the physicality that they generally bring, I wonder if it's probably not in the cards for either of these players to play this week. But maybe no one's rooting more for Isiah Pacheco to be back on the field than Kareem Hunt, because Kareem needs some help. I truly believe that he has done an exemplary job of walking in here, taking the rock, and doing everything that they asked. I believe that Kareem Hunt is better in the pass game than Isiah Pacheco is. Not necessarily the screen game, but the downfield pass game. So I would like to see a bit more of a shift where Isiah can take the first and second downs, or maybe the first, or platoon it or something like that when he gets back. I don't think it's going to be this week. I think it would be great if you could sprinkle him in if he's feeling healthy, just so you can get that 1-2 punch starting to roll. It is sometimes a challenge for players who are used to being the guy to go into a timeshare, but it will help both of these players. Kareem's been run ragged at this point. A lot of touches, a lot of carries. Isiah Obviously, coming off the injury, you don't want to just throw him into the deep end. You need both these guys in January, and you need to sprinkle them in back and forth. Now, Samaje Perine's still a great third down back. I'm not saying you take all the snaps away from Perine. I do think you give Kareem a couple of those and shift it a little bit so you have 2 third down backs, maybe split back actions that you run in third downs when, especially the Chiefs have been doing pretty good at being around 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. That allows you to, I think, to go with more backs in the backfield that are out as pass catchers. You can get a little bit of a chip. We know that the tackles are going to need that, and you can get them out into a route. So I do like that concept. But then I also do believe that Carson Steele has earned a few more carries as well. Now, if Isiah comes right back to the squad and to the roster, Steele's probably the odd man out. But it could be Clyde as well, because Clyde's making progress, says he feels good. Haven't seen them really dedicate time to him to get him back on the field. We'll see what happens this week. The other thing we're watching for this week is the return of Charles Omenihu. I don't think they need to push this. I don't think they have to have him until December, and that's just to give him a few tune-up games for January. Charles Omenihu is for January. He will be a year out from his injury. He will have rehabbed. He will have his football legs under him by then. I don't think you have to push him. You don't need, more than 15 snaps from him in the next couple of weeks from when he is activated to when it's January. I think that's going to be the key. So I expect them to take it slow with him unless he's just done a completely amazing job with his rehab and he's really ready to go. I would still not use him overly much because you want to save him for the playoffs. You also got a boost that kind of gives you cover for that because Mike Dana came back, played a ton of snaps, was able to step in, help Turk Wharton, who, despite the injury, is coming back and actually had what I think is a good game. And Derek Nottie, that is still battling through that upper body injury. They called it tricep. I'm not sure that's exactly what it is because his movement looks a little bit hinky to me in some ways. So I do think that he's still playing hurt and just trying to get through this season. So any help on the interior defensive line will help. And Mike Dana is here to provide that. He did a great job the first week back. And I think you understand just what a professional he is and what a glue guy he is. Yes, you have Chris Jones, and yes, you have some younger guys in Turk and Herring coming in, who's been playing a few more snaps, not so much last week. But Mike Dana's kind of the glue guy that gets you through those spaces, can produce pass rush, can produce run stop, can do a little bit of everything. Charles Omenihu will filter in there as well, and I think that's going to help. I'd like to see Charles start on the outside, stay out of the fray, stay out of the rumble there for a couple of weeks until he gets his legs underneath him. And then you see where you can put him on the inside, move him around, make that challenge for the quarterbacks to identify where the defensive line is strongest, because they are stronger with Charles Omenihu back. They are stronger with Joshua Uche coming off the side. They are stronger with Felix Adike-Ozama being able to move around and pick his slot. I think he's been playing better inside. I'm shocked to say that, but that's the way it is. So pass rush on the way up. Let's see how they do. Make sure you like and sub and hit the bell. Get the gear in the store. It's in the link, and you can find it by searching RGR Store. Thanks for being with me today. Check out our sponsors. Really appreciate you guys. Have a great one. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for watching this video from the team at RGR Football. Click these videos to see more and subscribe to RGR Football.